are doing the rest of 7-3 notes. Okay, so instead of dividing by a number, we can multiply by its reciprocal. So instead of dividing by a number, we can multiply by the reciprocal. That word by is where the sign is. So if I have super easy question that we could type in our calculator if we wanted to. If I had a third divided by 2. So instead of dividing by 2, so you need to say it like that. Instead of dividing by 2, we can multiply by the reciprocal of 2, right? So instead of 1/3 divided by 2, we could do 1/3 multiplied by a half. And then how do we multiply fractions? Straight across. So we get 1 times 1, and 3 times 2 is 6. So we'd have 1/6 for our answer. So instead of a number divided by a number, we change it to a number multiplied by reciprocal. Okay? So we have 7x over 2x minus 10 divided by x squared minus 6x over x squared minus 11x plus 30. So instead of dividing by, we're going to do what? So we start with the same first fraction, 7x over 2x minus 10. Multiply by, flip it, x squared minus 11x plus 30. This is where you can really use the word flip it and mean it. Because we are going up and down, flipping up and down. Okay, now it becomes multiplication. You just did your entire segment on multiplication. So how do we do this? Factor it. So let's factor whatever we can factor. We got 7x. What do we factor with 2x minus 10? GCF, 2 times x minus 5. Then we factor 11, x squared minus 11x plus 30. So that's going to be a guess and check kind. On the bottom, we're going to factor x squared minus 6x. So that'll be GCF, x times x minus 6. So on top, I'm factoring guess and check. I know that these have to be x. To multiply the second two numbers to give me a positive 30. It has to add up to be negative 11. What do we put down? Negative 5, negative 6. Does anything cancel? Oh wait, we got to multiply first. Sorry, let me multiply. Straight across. There, I multiplied them. Now we can cancel. What cancels? X minus 5. Anything else? X minus 6s. Anything else? The x cancels. So what's left over? 7 over 2. So do we have any exclusions? Was there anything that the original equation couldn't equal, but the new one doesn't show? 0, 5, and 6, right? Should we review how we get those numbers? Some people weren't here. Let's review how we get those numbers again. So if you look at the original equation, the one that has all my lines through it, the one that I crossed out, I'm crossing out x minus 5 from the denominator. That x minus 5 is not also in the denominator of the original. So I have to include it because the original and the blue one and the purple one are completely equal except for at these points, except for at these x's. Would you agree the number 7/2 does not have an x equals 0 in it? Right, because it doesn't have an x at all. So in order to say that these are completely equal, you have to have those exclusions. It's basically what you canceled out that's not in the denominator of the answer. All right, let's do it again. We are dividing. So instead of dividing by a number, you can't divide by a number. So instead of dividing by a number, what do? Multiply by its reciprocal. Have you ever heard keep, change, flip?
No.
We keep this one. You change, divide to multiply, and you flip. How do I flip 3x squared plus 5x? So originally there's a 1 under it, so yeah, we put 1 over. So you keep, you change the sign, you flip it. You change flip. Then we have to factor. I would suggest you go to factor this first one and you look at it and you say, all right, that's going to be guess and check. But what multiplies together to give me 6x squared? 2 and 3 or 6 and 1. There's a few options here. What multiplies together to give me negative 15? 5 and 3 or 1 and 15, but one of them has to be negative and one of them has to be positive. So we could have like negative 5 and positive 3 or positive 5 and negative 3. Like there's so many different combinations that it might take you a little bit of time to guess and check. So I'm going to wait and do that one last. This one's 4x squared. Over here, this is 1. Let me go factor this guy first. How do I factor this? How do I factor it? A GCF.
Yeah.
X, 3x plus 5. Now this doesn't always work, but aren't we trying to get something that's on the top and the bottom that might cancel? So it doesn't always work, but maybe this 3x plus 5 is a hint of what one of those is. Maybe. So if I put a 3x plus 5 here, let's just pretend it is and see if it really works. What would I have to multiply together with 3x to give me 6x squared? Okay, so we're doing FOIL, that's first. And we do our outer, and we do our inner, and then to do our last, we do 5 times what to give me negative 15? Negative 3. 5 times negative 3. Let's see that our outer and our inner work. 3x times minus 3, that's negative 9x. And 5 times 2x is positive 10x. Our outer and our inner, does that equal positive 1x? Okay. So this just gave us a little hint about maybe how we could factor. That doesn't mean it works every single time, because these could completely not even reduce. But at least that gave us a hint on how to factor it. So those will cancel. What else will cancel? That's all? The x's aren't going to cancel?
No, I guess.
Can they? Oh, so I'm trying to trick you. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. When I multiply straight across, where are all of these x's? They're all in the bottom. You can't cancel if they're in the same side. One's got to be top, one's got to be in the bottom. So nothing else is going to cancel. We will have 2x minus 3 on top. And what will we have on the bottom? or x to the third power, right? Will we have any exclusions? Was there anything in the denominator of the original that got canceled out and is not in the denominator now? Okay, so we're going to set that 3x plus 5 equal to 0 and find out what x cannot equal. 3x. So x cannot equal 5 over 3. Yes, totally negative. I wrote it over there.
That's all we do.
Well, you're going to do 2 student examples.
That's fine, the quotient part.
Yeah. What's quotient mean?
The divide.
The answer after you divide into 2.
Yeah. If you wanna.
Okay. So you try them. We'll go over them together too, but you try them. Instead of dividing by a number, we can multiply by the reciprocal. Left you plenty of space to do it. Instead of dividing by number, we can multiply by the reciprocal.
That's what
Did you get any? Okay, so then my next step is I'm going to factor things. I'm going to have 4x over 5 GCF x minus 4. Multiply that by, on top we're going to do guess and check, x minus 2, x minus 4.
Not that.
On the bottom I'm going to do, take out x minus 2. And we see, we're multiplying, so we see if there's anything that will cancel. And we can cancel out 3 factors. So once you have all that canceled, you get 4/5. And you have to write your exclusions. X cannot equal 0. X cannot equal 4. And x cannot equal 2. So those are things that I canceled out that aren't in the denominator of the original, or of the answer. So I will need you to write this separate now.
Oh, no.
Okay. Make a small mistake. Here. Small mistake on that. Different. A small mistake down there.
is on. And the repeat.
Frankie, I got something.
Thursday.
You have to do it for your thing. I don't collect.
How many checks have we done?
That's right, so what, 2 times what, X was right there, I'm free. And then 5 times, positive 5 times what's gonna give us negative 5? Right, then you have to do the outer and the inner just to make sure you get it right. So 2x times negative 1 and 5 times that, because that is Okay, I'm gonna do number 9. We're gonna have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 over 6x multiplied by 1 over 2x squared plus 5x. When you guys go to factor it, in the denominator, I'm going to factor out an x from this one. And I'm hoping that that will be one of the factors over here, but I don't know for sure. I have to just kind of guess and check. So what multiplies together to give me 2x squared?
X.
2x times x. And what multiplies together to give me negative 5? Positive 5 and negative 1. Then we're going to check that. Negative 2x and positive 5x does give me 3x, so I factored it correctly. Jeremiah, do you have a question before I go on? Okay, I'll be right there. Can you wait 1 moment? So from here, I'm going to cancel out the 2x plus 5s, but nothing else cancels. So I'm going to multiply straight across, and I'll have x minus 1, and I don't need parentheses. Over 6, and then we have 2 x's, so x to the second. So we look at our exclusions, and we see that 2x plus 5 canceled out, so I have to set 2x plus 5 equals 0 and solve it. So my exclusion is x cannot equal negative 5 over 2. So the assignment, some of you already grabbed your computers, the assignment is on the computer. When you grab your computer, there is something, there's like a new update that Big Ideas did that you'll see when you log in, and I'll tell you once everybody has a computer. I don't have to repeat it. But it is on the computer, and you'll probably need some paper to work through it. Yep.
Did we ever get 7 1?
We didn't do that.
Okay.